You take an oath when you get the iron ring. You swear on cold steel that you're going to live up to it, and anybody with it. And I've always found that's true. They live up to it.
Many alumni have realized that one of the strongest foundations of their success has been their engineering education, and many of them have given back to the faculty in a variety of ways.
I think you owe a debt to your generation, you know. You're talking to probably one of the dumbest students that ever came through here. But I think in our case, we had the confidence that nobody could do a project any better than we could. You had said, you know, whatever happened, anything you took on, you really had the feeling nobody could do it any better than you could. And I'm sure that's what we got from the university here.
The faculty is grateful to all of its supporters throughout the century.
It's a great institution. If you ever want to help anywhere, this is the place to do it. It's been good to us, and if you call it us being good to them, that's fine, but it's really a debt we owed.
In the 21st century, Alberta's focus is turning outward to a borderless business world, a world where wireless technology and computer applications are the new infrastructure. U of A's Faculty of Engineering continues to be at the forefront of this territory. Dr. Rohit Sharma has taken his engineering and business acumen into this borderless world and succeeded brilliantly.
I often tell people I grew up in two places. The first part of my life I grew up in India. The professional part of my life I grew up entirely at the U of A. I entirely credit the U of A experience with making me who I am. And in my case, I've been lucky to make friendships that have continued on to this day. So I think everything outside the classroom walls also was not only a positive experience, but I think a very enriching experience personally for me.
Alberta's economy has been tied to the oil and gas industry since the early days. And for the past 5 decades, the U of A has offered Canada's only accredited BSc in Petroleum Engineering. Research at the U of A focuses on improving current technology and on developing new processes that reduce environmental impact.
The earliest report of how to successfully extract oil from the oil sands was written by Carl Clark in about 1921 to Henry Marshall Torrey. My research interests are in the area that we call upgrading. The challenge in upgrading is to take the complex mixture of very large molecules, break it down, and get smaller components that refineries can process into clean transportation fuels. We have a program focused on what we call non-aqueous extraction, not using water to get the oil out of the oil sand, to see if we can get away from having to use so much of our water resources in the mining industry.
U of A engineers have long been called to use their skills in service to society.
The engineering program is designed to the maximum extent possible to encourage and to assist students with coming to that realization that they really have a calling that's greater than themselves.
One good example of these principles in action is the faculty's chapter of Engineers Without Borders. Jessica Verostek spent the summer of 2007 working for Engineers Without Borders on an agricultural project in Ghana.
We try to develop the skills of the local people so that when we're gone, the skills stay with them, so that the knowledge that we pass on stays with them. The culture of Engineers Without Borders is really accepting, really willing to listen, willing to share ideas and learn from each other. It's never us imposing our ideas on other people, it's just us encouraging new thought.
From the first graduate to the most recent, the fundamentals of their engineering education have changed very little.
The way that you combine them together and apply them become entirely new. And that's where the real fun, the joy is going to be for those students in the future, as they say, yes, I need to understand those phenomena, but I have a chance, the opportunity to express that in ways that have never been done before.
The future of engineering is being created, project by project at its interface with other disciplines, like this interface between engineering and medicine, where the potential of nanotechnology comes to life.
I think Chris is quite a unique engineer in that he's had a lot of vision, and his whole approach, which makes it very easy to collaborate, has been that it's important that his devices do the kind of job that my techniques require. So he didn't go off and develop a widget and say, oh, I wonder what it could do. He said, Linda, what do you need? And we worked together, and of course, wouldn't have been possible without all of his talent and his insights, because I don't know how to do those things, but I know what's needed.
What many students may not realize is that one of the most important factors determining success of a given research direction, and in fact what might even determine the shape of our society in the future, is really where the students want to take it. If students are really enthusiastic about some area they want to change the world, that area of the world is likely to change.
If you're going to attach that on the end, that'd be...
Who are the engineers of the future? Well, some of them are probably here at Discover E, a summer program for school-aged children offered by the U of A engineering faculty and staffed by students.
The kids, they come up with ideas and perspectives that you'll never, ever think of, and so that's really the wonder of it, I think, is you never know what's going to happen next, and what they see and what they remember from what you say, and that's really, really a neat thing to see and behold, and it's something everybody should experience at least, several times in their life. It's really cool. The big thing is when you break through with a kid, like when you're actually able to get them to understand what you're trying to explain to them, or they actually see something that they've never really understood before. Their eyes go wide and they're like, wow, this was so cool. There hasn't been a day where I haven't been surprised by the kids.
Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Take some creativity and imagination. Combine them with a solid understanding of natural phenomena, and in the right hands, these will transform into structures, processes, and initiatives, large and small, that benefit society. That's been the work of the University of Alberta Faculty of Engineering for the past century. And that's precisely how they will be engineering the future.